I think Palm Beach is about what it means to be a family, and what it means to be a good friend.
And how we kind of cope when we're going through transition times.
I think what the film explores beautifully is how does one sustain? Can friendships be sustained? How much work has to be put into recreating? Who's trying to hang on to the nostalgia which they hold dear to them? And can it be maintained?
Well, it's a major birthday of Frank's. We don't actually say which birthday it is, but it is a major milestone.
And he's asked his closest and dearest friends to come and spend the weekend with him at their home in Palm Beach.
Trouble is that paradise isn't all that it seems. It's not so perfect after all.
And action.
The guys have known each other for a long time because they worked together in their youth in a band.
The rivalries and relationships that these three people had in this band between Sam Neill, myself and Bryan Brown way back when, those are instantly replayed, and I think that that's, from all the people that I know who've been in successful bands and not so successful bands, it's a common denominator that they immediately go back into the behaviour patterns that they had as though no time has passed in between.
Age is dealt with a lot, the ageing. Not the ageing process, but what age brings with it. And I think in the film, where some of the humour lies too, is that the film in a way is how men age and women mature.
Most of these people have got, they're blokes anyway, got to the time in life where they have to reassess things. They have to reassess what's important.
And what ensues is quite a lot of tension of what's been sort of hidden over the years and brewing over the weekend, which causes quite a lot of drama.
Excuse me, but you're scaring the children.
There's food and there's amazing locations and a lot of fun, I think, as well. I think it'll make a lot of people want to go on a big holiday with their family. Yeah.
And cut. Lovely, well done.
We spent quite a few weeks looking around Palm Beach, but one of the things that most of the houses were missing was the perfect view that really encapsulated Palm Beach in a quick, like awe-inspiring kind of moment. We came across this house after looking, searching, kind of word of mouth, and it was one of those moments where all our jaws dropped and we were like, this is it, this has got to be it.
Yes, I think originally I wanted a more sort of funky traditional cottage up here, and we did sort of find one that was very like that. But in the end, you know, Frank is someone who has, you know, made good. I mean, clearly this is a house of magnificence, and the view says it all. And for me, I wanted to make it a very homey home. This is where people live, and it's where nothing is overtly expensive. It's just things that they've collected on their travels. Yeah, there's a lot of mine and Bryan's stuff in the house, and that came about largely because we had a limited budget for production design, and we needed pictures and we needed bits and pieces, and so a lot of the pieces have been provided by Melinda Dorling's personal stuff and mine and Bryan's personal stuff as well. So most of the artefacts are between the two of us.
The architect who designed this house, Susan Rothwell, her personal style was more kind of chocolate brown in here. So we painted some of the walls. We put a lot of plants into the space because that kind of brought a little bit more of the outside inside and kind of a bit more life inside here. I hope the audience just have a really good time. Like, they really want to be in this house. They want to be part of this party, that they would love to come to Palm Beach and that this would be the experience that they would have, and that they feel at home in this place as well.
Rachel's a fantastic hostess. She makes the dinner party seem effortless, and she's specifically written that in. You know, her tastes are very much in the script.
Well, food was always a big thing in our house growing up. There's lots of things that have been drawn on from our family and brought into this film, and food is definitely one of them.
I wanted to delight in our produce, in the produce that we have here in Australia, and the lifestyle that many of us enjoy with, particularly our seafood and our fresh vegetables. And I just know that when people come to Australia, they are knocked out by our food. So I just felt it was a major component, and I wanted the colour and the glory and the beauty of food and fruit, and so that it was fulfilling a sort of aspirational quotient in this film. Well, the Boathouse have been incredibly generous with providing food and the lavish lunches here that we have. Well, one large lavish lunch, the picnic, and anything that we eat here is the produce from the Boathouse, and they have traditionally done the most beautiful spreads. So there was a trout from Sean's Panorama, which was with salmon eggs and orange. And that is just a splendid looking dish, you know, sitting on butternut lettuce. And it's a dish I do a lot when I have friends around. And so I wanted that because it looks splendid. One of the things I wanted was that everything was bonding, everything they did together, whether it's making the pizzas or making the meals, that they're all doing it together. And that's part of the sort of bonhomie of a great weekend.
The more we developed the screenplay, the more the character of the place, we were always going to set it here, but the more it became a Palm Beach story, and it suddenly became obvious that the story should be called Palm Beach. That's the other character in the movie. The more exotic and wonderful it is, then the more we've got to have opposing that in the struggles that these people are going through. Paradise doesn't exist. Life exists. Doesn't matter where you are.
It's a pretty amazing place. The water sparkles, the water changes, the light is incredible. At every time of the day you see a different light. The location allows this story to unfold. There's a certain, when you say Palm Beach, it conjures up a lifestyle, and it also conjures up the scenery and the location.
I think one of the best elements of this film is the location. It's just not something that you see on, aside from Home and Away, it's really not something that you see on Australian cinema very often, and it's stunning.
Because it's such a beautiful part of the world. There's nothing like it, having the Pittwater on one side and then the ocean on the other side.
I think the hardest thing for this film is we're actually shooting in winter.
We were supposed to shoot this in April, May, when the weather's absolutely sublime here. But we're now shooting in June, July, when it's colder and wetter. So there are sort of puffer jackets, and then take those off, and people pretend that it's, you know, the height of summer, and their flesh looks like plucked ostrich, goosebumps, puckered and frozen.
Can't talk. So cold.
I mean, to film in this place is just remarkable. You know, it's a dream come true, really.
The more I see Palm Beach over the years, the more I realise it's the most extraordinary place. I really think we're lucky to be able to tell a story set in Palm Beach.